The ethical divide between species. The Rigulac Empire prided itself on being a species with advanced moral codes and ancient laws, having evolved beyond the need for brute intimidation. For them, honor in battle meant challenging the strongest, testing one's limits, and respecting the sanctity of the vulnerable. It was a point of pride that even in war, their battles were fought with respect for innocent life values embedded deeply in their society's core and governing code. Therefore, the capture and imprisonment of children, especially as a means to extract power or obedience, went against everything they believed in. Commander Selthrak found himself caught in the middle of this ethical turmoil, horrified by the evidence of Captain Sorva's actions. To Selthrak, Sorva's actions weren't just a tactical miscalculation, they were an abomination, a stain on the honor of the Rigulac Empire itself. Yet, Sorva claimed he was only acting for the Empire's benefit, asserting that humans could be broken by targeting what they cherished most. This left Selthrak wrestling with a deep moral dilemma. He realized he no longer fully understood his own people. Had their empire's structure become so twisted that beings like Sorva could justify the imprisonment of innocents, claiming it served a greater cause? He felt a rising wave of doubt, fearing that this was a sign of something festering at the heart of Rigulac society. His sense of duty was in direct conflict with his sense of ethics, his loyalty split between his commanders and his own principles. As he reviewed the footage of the captured children, he saw the raw terror in their eyes, a fear he could not rationalize as anything but abhorrent. The holographic images, pixelated and choppy, showed the children huddled close, their small bodies quivering, clutching each other for warmth and comfort. Selthrak felt a pang he hadn't experienced in years, a mixture of guilt and empathy, emotions foreign to a seasoned warrior of his kind. But here they were, flooding him with a strange and unsettling clarity. The Rigulac council members watched alongside him, many sharing his revulsion. As they exchanged horrified glances, whispers of doubt spread among them. Some argued that perhaps Sorva's actions were justified in the context of intergalactic warfare. Others vehemently disagreed, stating that children, whether Rigulac, human, or any other species, should never become pawns. To them, targeting the young was a line no species should cross, an unforgivable act that erased the distinction between conqueror and barbarian. The clash of views among the Rigulac leaders created a tense divide, reflecting a philosophical crisis. Could a so-called superior civilization truly justify its actions by claiming to be better while committing such atrocities? Selthrak's faith in his empire's ideals began to waver, his belief in their moral superiority shaken. He realized that if his empire could condone such cruelty, then perhaps their sense of honor was no stronger than the primitive might they look down upon. This reckoning set Selthrak on a journey to question not only the Empire's methods but also his own loyalty to a regime he'd served for so long. For the first time, the Rigulac Empire had to face a truth about themselves, one that no species, no matter how ancient, could ignore without consequence: the power of human unity and sacrifice. News of the captured children spread across Earth like wildfire, sparking a wave of outrage that crossed every boundary in United Nations in a rare and profound alignment. It wasn't just the governments that responded. Communities, families, and individuals felt an instinctive pull to protect the innocent lives now in the hands of an alien species. Humanity's collective outrage was fueled by something deeper than fear. It was a primal call to defend their young, a drive that ran as deeply in them as their need for air or water. As scenes of the children's captivity were broadcast across media networks, humanity responded with a singular clarity of purpose. Different cultures and nations, some that had been in conflict for generations, set aside their differences, putting their energy, resources, and focus toward a unified mission. This wasn't just a military response, it was a societal mobilization. Scientists, engineers, and strategists joined forces with soldiers, diplomats, and activists, each contributing their skills to a single, urgent cause. Around the globe, people volunteered in record numbers to join Earth's new interplanetary defense force. Recruits poured in from all walks of life: parents, students, doctors, farmers, all driven by a fierce determination to bring their children home. Hackers worked tirelessly to tap into Rigulac communications, engineers modified existing space technology to prepare a fleet, and diplomatic envoys reached out to Earth's allies beyond the solar system. The spirit of unity was palpable, an energy that buzzed through cities and towns worldwide. The human leadership, too, found itself transformed by this unprecedented solidarity. Leaders from every nation convened in an emergency summit, setting aside political tensions to draft a cohesive strategy. For the first time, rival factions came together without hesitation, pooling their resources and knowledge in service of a mission that transcended politics. The stakes had changed. This was no longer about territory or resources, it was about a shared duty to protect their young. An unforeseen strength emerged from this unity. Humanity's brightest minds worked around the clock, designing new defenses, crafting complex strategies, and advancing technology at a speed that took even them by surprise. Scientists and engineers who had been rivals for years collaborated with newfound respect, sharing ideas and insights as if they'd been allies forever. When humanity worked together without reservation, it became a force of formidable creativity, resilience, and power. The response was not only logistical, it was psychological. People around the world felt an unbreakable sense of connection, driven by their shared humanity. Communities that had once been divided by language, culture, or ideology found themselves united by a fierce, protective instinct. Acts of kindness and sacrifice became the norm, with people donating their time, resources, and skills to aid in the mission. Humanity had never felt so connected, its purpose so clear. As the human fleet prepared to launch, the soldiers, technicians, and leaders all felt an unwavering sense of duty. This was more than a mission to save the young, it was a testament to the lengths humanity would go to defend its future. In this fierce unity, they found a power greater than any one government, faction, or ideology. It was the kind of unity that was born from shared purpose and love, a power that even humanity's leaders hadn't realized existed until this crisis. The Rigulac Empire had expected compliance, perhaps surrender, upon capturing the children. But what they hadn't anticipated was that their actions would ignite a force they could neither predict nor control, a humanity united, ready to face even the most daunting foe for the sake of their young. The inner conflict of Commander Xelthrak. Commander Xelthrak had spent years climbing the ranks of the Rigulac Empire, loyal and unwavering in his duty. Trained to be disciplined, methodical, and objective, he was as much a symbol of the Empire's rigid values as he was a soldier. But now, as he reviewed the images of the captured human children, a crack began to form in the walls he had built around himself. The innocent faces, their terror so clear, stirred something within him that he didn't fully understand. The Rigulac had always seen themselves as superior, and Xelthrak had believed in their vision of empire, an entity that brought order, prosperity, and discipline to a chaotic galaxy. But seeing the children's plight, he began to question what kind of order they were truly bringing. As he sat alone in his quarters, haunted by the images of those terrified human children, he felt a creeping sense of shame that he struggled to shake. This wasn't the glory and honor he had devoted his life to. This was something else, something tainted and disturbing. Thoughts he'd long kept buried began to surface. Had the Rigulac Empire changed from what it once was, or had he always been blind to its flaws? He remembered the stories his mentor had shared, tales of a time when their empire was respected not just for its might but for its code of honor, a code that placed the highest value on protecting the innocent. But Captain Sorva's actions spat in the face of everything Xelthrak believed in. Using children as leverage? It wasn't just dishonorable, it was an act of cowardice. Conflicted, Xelthrak found himself questioning not only Sorva's decisions but his own loyalty. He had sworn an oath to protect the Rigulac Empire and to obey his superiors, but that oath had always assumed that his superiors would act with wisdom and honor. Now he was beginning to wonder if blind loyalty was the same as true loyalty. His mind reeled with the possibilities. Could he truly continue to serve an empire that condoned such actions? Was there room in the Rigulac ranks for those who questioned authority, or would he be seen as a traitor for even harboring such thoughts? As he continued to grapple with these questions, Xelthrak's perception of humanity began to shift as well. He had once viewed humans as a primitive species, lacking the complexity or discipline of the Rigulac. But their unity and determination in the face of such adversity spoke of a strength he had overlooked. This fierce loyalty to their young, a loyalty that transcended their own lives, was a trait he couldn't ignore. Where his own people saw weakness, Xelthrak now saw a form of strength that resonated with him on a deeply personal level. The more he thought about it, the more he realized how much he admired humanity's resilience. They were willing to risk everything, sacrifice everything, to protect the innocent. What did that say about them? And, more troubling, what did it say about him? His loyalty to the Rigulac had always been unshakable, but now it felt hollow in comparison to the fierce determination of the humans. He couldn't shake the feeling that there was something pure and noble in their bond with their young, a purpose that transcended the cold logic of conquest and control. Every time he replayed the images of the human children, he felt himself inching closer to a decision he knew would change everything. The human counterattack, a surprising, tactical display. When the Rigulac fleet picked up signs of an incoming human force, they expected a ragtag, disorganized attempt at rescue, a desperate show of defiance that would be quickly subdued. But as the human ships approached, the Rigulac sensors began registering strange readings. Rather than a single frontal assault, the human fleet split into coordinated formations, moving with precision and purpose. Instead of rushing blindly forward, they executed a series of maneuvers that tested the Rigulac defenses in ways their strategists hadn't foreseen. In their arrogance, the Rigulac had assumed that humanity would have little to offer in terms of space combat. After all, humans were newcomers to interstellar warfare, but what they hadn't accounted for was humanity's capacity to innovate under pressure and their unyielding will to protect. Earth's scientists and engineers had worked tirelessly, modifying and upgrading existing technology, patching together advancements with relentless ingenuity. The fleet that approached now was equipped with hybridized technology, a mix of human resilience and adaptive engineering, paired with knowledge from allied species who had joined humanity's cause. The humans' offensive wasn't just brute force, it was complex, multi-layered, and psychologically sophisticated. Their ships made coordinated strikes on key Rigulac outposts, disabling communication relays and targeting weak points in the Empire's defenses. They deployed a variety of tactics. Some ships used cloaking devices to slip past detection grids, while others used diversionary tactics to draw fire and weaken the outer lines. Meanwhile, teams of human hackers launched cyber assaults on Rigulac systems, scrambling data feeds, interfering with command networks, and even looping surveillance cameras to buy precious seconds for their advancing fleet. One of the most shocking moves came when the humans deployed a swarm of small, autonomous drones that swirled around Rigulac ships like angry hornets. The drones moved unpredictably, striking at weak points with surgical precision, overwhelming the Rigulac's targeting systems. These drones were designed to operate independently, programmed with algorithms that allowed them to learn and adapt, making them difficult to predict or control. Rigulac fighters, trained to expect orderly, coordinated attacks, were thrown off balance by the chaos the drones created. The human forces also launched unexpected psychological tactics. Using hacked Rigulac frequencies, they broadcast messages directly to the enemy's command centers, reminding them that they knew about the children's capture, demanding the children's safe return, and warning of consequences should they resist. The Rigulac soldiers, already rattled by the unusual human tactics, found themselves unnerved by these messages. Some began to doubt the wisdom of the mission, others questioned the strength of their defenses. Rumors of humanity's resolve spread quickly, weakening morale and sowing seeds of doubt among the Rigulac ranks. As the battle unfolded, human strategists continued to make quick, adaptive adjustments. Leaders back on Earth were monitoring Rigulac communication channels, intercepting intel, and deploying responses in real time. Every movement, every strike, seemed to be part of a larger plan. The humans weren't acting out of desperation, they were executing a well-coordinated response that left even the most seasoned Rigulac commanders scrambling to keep up. It was as if humanity had tapped into a wellspring of tactical brilliance they hadn't known they possessed. The Rigulac leaders watched in disbelief, realizing that humanity had not only prepared for an assault, but had anticipated nearly every response the Empire could muster. This was no mere rescue attempt, it was a display of calculated defiance, a testament to humanity's ingenuity, adaptability, and sheer willpower. In this story, the Rigulac Empire, a powerful alien civilization, captures a group of human children, intending to use them as leverage to force Earth's surrender. Captain Sorva of the Rigulac sees this as a tactical move, but Commander Selthrak and other Rigulac leaders are horrified, as targeting the innocent goes against their species' ethical code. Meanwhile, humanity unites in a fierce, single-minded mission to rescue the children. People from all walks of life band together, setting aside global divisions, while engineers and military strategists devise a unique multi-layered offensive. The human counterattack surprises the Rigulac with its sophistication. Earth's forces adapt their technology, deploy drones, conduct cyber infiltrations, and even send psychological messages to sow doubt among the Rigulac troops. As humanity's coordinated response unfolds, it forces Commander Selthrak to question his own loyalty to the Empire. The Rigulac realize that in their arrogance, they underestimated humanity's resilience and unity, finding themselves faced with an unexpectedly formidable and morally driven foe.